Welcome to Under the Hood of Lucille. What we're going to be doing today is changing the PCV valve, which I believe is back there somewhere. Now what this valve does is it's the positive crankcase ventilation valve. When your engine is running, obviously it's going to get hot, and any water in your oil plus the oil itself, there's going to be vapors created, which is going to pressure up your crankcase. In the old days, they used to just vent that to the atmosphere. Of course, with environmental regulations, you can't do that anymore. So what this valve does is, as the crankcase pressures up, it opens up and feeds these vapors back into the intake manifold so they can be burned by the engine. Now, these valves do wear out. They can get slimed up, grudged up, all kinds of stuff. So we're going to change it. Now, the first thing we got to do is pull off this plastic cover, and it should just pop out of there. Let's find out. So before we remove this cover, we're going to have to just take off our intake pipe here. As you can see, the cover is kind of underneath of it. Just a couple of hose clamps, should pop right off, not a big deal. So as you can tell, I've got an aftermarket intake air cleaner on here. Now there's a hose that comes into it right there. And I think that's what comes from the PCV valve. From back there, it comes in here. And the reason I know that is because you can see a little bit of oil residue in here. So that's what happens, is the vapors come in here, they get sucked in, reburned. Of course, when the engine's cold, they condense and turn back to liquid. So actually I'm mistaken, this isn't the PCV hose. That goes right into where your oil intake is. That's your PCV valve right there. And you can see this tube comes back in to the intake there. So basically you just got to turn this, pop it out, put a new one in. You might need a pair of pliers, but be gentle, it is plastic. Alright, so I'm going to try and gently take this out. Oh, that's really stiff. A little gummed up. Not terrible. I got to give Dodge some credit. It's probably the easiest thing I've ever had to change on this so far. Let's grab the new one here. Alright, so we got our shiny new one. I can feel the valve. You can see that metal thing in there does wiggle around. I can feel it wiggling on this one too, so I'm assuming it's still loose and still works, but can't hurt to change it. Now this thing does, you have to kind of line some things up here. So yeah, So when you get it in there, this little point is going to rest up against this. And as you screw it down, it will suck its way down. Just like that. Let's put her all back together now. So when you put this in, there's these two little pegs that have to go into a couple little slots there. And the front parts just pop down onto some, I don't know, pop security things. Alright, so it's all back together. Back of this plastic thing secured. My air intake should all be in one piece. I do have to tighten that guy because I did loosen it. Make sure all these are nice and tight, or you might be sucking some dirt in your engine. I'll make sure this one's tight. But you can see all sealed up, all done, 10-minute job, nice and easy.